perfect stream.
And it's Monday again.
The hell?
On Earth, people.
Yes, what? Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. What is happening to the time, people?
Honestly, it seems to me like the weeks are about a day long.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was talking to Rogan because he works Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And it seems like it's Saturday every second. You know, it's like another week. Bye.
I couldn't believe it was our psychic fair the end of the month as well. It's like
well,
boom,
that
gone.
was, you know, because next weekend is just the very beginning for a second, you know, so it seemed like it was extra early.
Yeah, no, I know, because it's the 31 days in October and it's Thursday's the 31st.
But everything is very crazy and accelerated, and there is such an energy. Can you switch to the list?
Oh, we probably should, shouldn't
there's
we?
more peeps.
I
got everybody up to...
Oh, goodness gracious me. No, you don't.
No, I'm just going to put Kimberly.
All right, let me say hello to everybody who's watching then first, if I can get to the...
Gilda, Sean, Savannah, Logan, Laura, Peggy, Amber, Wendy, Jess, Cass, Shauna, Helena Rose, and Kimberly. There you go.
Is that some kind of chant?
We got your super chat?
Oh, yeah. I know we were getting a super chat because I was actually in the process of plugging everything in when the lights started flashing. It was like, oh, thank you for the super chat.
You're on the list, but
if you want to make our lights flash, and it's fun, you should try
1, 2, 3,
Send us
4,
a super chat.
5, 6.
Anything
Like number 7 on the list. There's a lot of peeps today.
There's a bunch of peeps. If you haven't mashed the like button, which I can tell disproportionately by the number of viewers that we have right now, and the lack of likes, do you not like us? Was it something we said? Mournful eyes, sad eyes.
Actually.
Anyway, move on.
Anyway, we have a lot to talk about today. We have some special announcement to make.
Oh my gosh, we do.
And we also, of course, are going to do our usual weird astrology rant. Now, I work really hard not to get sucked in because it would be really easy these days to just kind of exhale and get run over, you know, lay down and get run over.
Let's not do that.
The last couple of days in particular have felt very, very heavy.
Oh, God,
very sad. You know, if you sat down and kind of like let yourself hook up with the oversoul of things, you just feel like you want to sob. It's that there's a what do you call a disturbance in the force? I think would be the West. You know, the zeitgeist is wounded. But we have to understand as spiritually intelligent people that succumbing to that and hooking up with that
is exactly what the dark side
only
wants.
Increases that. Right?
Yes, give in to your anger, Luke.
So really try over this next week or so, when you feel that wave come, because I know many are feeling it. When you feel that wave come, stop, ground yourself, and cover yourself in white light, and say, love is the law. Love conquers all.
So mote it be.
And just put out, you know, the highest good and the opposite of that heavy sadness.
Yes.
I mean, there's been so much loss and hatred, and, you know, again, it would be very, very easy to just get sucked right in there and yell and argue and be mean and nasty. Or lose your mind, right? But that's exactly not what to do. Ground yourself. Love is the law. And really try to calm yourself and lift yourself, and then work to send some good energy to other people, right? Because they may be struggling as well. It's a really, we're coming for this crunchy astrology that I've not seen anything like it in my lifetime.
It is. You know, the whole it is scary times, and For those of you that have got an interest in history, we've been here before. We've been here before. And it's interesting. I don't know if you guys read the little note that we put up. We always put like a preamble post up for what we're going to talk about. And we're not going to talk about this for the whole thing. We've got some really good stuff to focus on. We're going to do the
astrology, and then we're going to do some really good announcements, and then we'll do readings.
But it's really fascinating. We had our head totally immersed in the esoteric and arcane this weekend. We, for those of you, in fact, some of you, quite a few of you who are on this podcast this morning, have joined us on the podcast this noon. Sorry, not this morning. We're actually at the class yesterday. But we had, not only do we have our psychic fair, so my head's all in other giving the readings. I met some lovely people this time. I have to say thank you, everybody. Yeah, he read all
day Saturday and then taught tarot class yesterday.
I was literally hoarse by the end of the day yesterday. I did nothing but talk for 2 days. Oh well, that's tough for you, isn't it? Because that's all you do is talk. So it's interesting though, but we dig into arcane, which is where you get arcana from. Arcana, the cards, right? The major arcana and the minor arcana. Arcane means secret. And so the arcanum are things that hold secrets. Hold secrets. So there's so many things that are actually hidden in plain sight. And it's necessary to look, to see, and look again and look deeper, yeah? So the one thing that occurred to me is thinking about world events and the fact that we've been here before, and we're on the verge of, either embracing right-wing nationalism and becoming a fascist authoritarian dictatorship, or hanging on to our representative democracy. That's the crux of it. And this happened with the rise of Nazi Germany, and unfortunately they went the other way. They did.
All right.
So
but
hold on.
The United States didn't, so
the United States did not at that time. That is true. But there were those in the United States who were trying to pull the United States into the conflict on the side of Nazi Germany.
They even had a big rally at Madison Square Garden.
Would you fancy that? Would you believe it?
1939.
Yeah. So we've been here before, is what I'm trying to tell you. And you have to look at things, and you have to look deeper. Don't just swallow the crap or look at what's going around, or get caught up in the emotions, all right? You need to just step back, take a bigger picture, and also take a closer look at the same time. I know that sounds sort of counterintuitive, but sometimes you have to get outside to be able to get inside, because you kind of, your vision's occluded by being too close. And I don't know how many of you guys have thought about this or even looked at it. The original motto for the United States, E pluribus unum, if I've got that correct.
It's Latin, I believe.
It's Latin, from many one. Yeah, from many one. And this was when the 13 colonies became the 13 states, which became one nation. Now that was the motto of the United States right up until the rise of McCarthyism, when we had "In God We Trust," because obviously the communists were godless creatures, but God didn't come into the picture at all up until that point. But E pluribus unum, 13 colonies, 13 states, one nation. Have you ever counted the number of letters in that phrase? There are 13, and they're there purposefully. Our founding fathers, certainly Benjamin Franklin was...
Could it be Satan?
Could it be Satan? No, it's nothing to do with Satan. It's nothing to do with Satan. Probably quite a lot to do with Masonry, I would suggest, and the esoteric underlying or underpinnings, if you will. But it's worth another look. It's worth another look, and we need to think about that, and we need to listen, guys. Just try to be, aware. Okay, be aware.
I have some things that are what I call that empirical evidence.
Oh, yes,
right?
Yes.
So we know that I've talked a lot about Uranus and Algol, and I don't mean to be a broken record, but this is a really intense kind of thing. Don't lose your head.
Yeah.
Now, it takes Uranus about 84 years, give or take. Like sometimes it's 80, sometimes it's maybe 81.
It's because it's an ellipse.
To make its entire revolution, to get back to where it was. And each time it comes to this place, we have a very interesting event, right?
Uranus
So
return.
our Uranus return for the United States was in this position in World War II. It was in this position for the Civil War.
Oh, God.
And it was in this position for the Revolutionary War. So we know what's coming is some sort of conflict. But the empirical evidence shows each of those times, even though there were great loss and hardship, democracy prevailed.
Good overcame evil.
Right? Good overcame evil. So there's no reason for us not to believe that the empirical evidence, although this will be a difficult time and there could be quite an upheaval, a lot of unrest, maybe even more energy around war, but each time, for the last 3 times, democracy has prevailed. This is, again, why it's so important for us to continue to feed positive energy for the good.
Absolutely. Yes, well, of course it came up over the week. What you focus on comes into focus.
Okay.
It does. So it's imperative that we focus on good, as Lisa's saying. You have more astrology, I'm sure. don't
I
you?
do, yeah.
Yeah, well, have at it.
Okay. So I always like to talk about the coming moon when it's full or new. And the new moon is going to be on Friday the 1st.
Oh, hi. Huh?
And because the sun is in Scorpio, the moon will be new in Scorpio at the same degree.
Oh.
Which I could check the degree, because I apologize, I didn't write that down.
Didn't do her homework. Fortunately, she has to hand her
I did do my homework, I just
trusty
forgot
ephemeris.
to write this down. You know,
Oh,
what it means to me. Oh, look, Madam President.
Little plug. Little plug there. Oh, God, I love it. Where we at?
12 degrees.
Day one.
No, that's not
It's
really.
12:47.
1 degree, right?
Day one, that says.
I don't understand. 9 degrees Scorpio.
There
Sorry.
you go. Sorry.
Jeez Louise.
The print's so bloody small. I was like, what? All right.
9 degrees Scorpio, so we have hermit energy, right? The hermit card. Okay. Now, let's think about Scorpio. And Scorpio has 2 ruling planets,
It does.
right? Its ancient ruler was Mars,
Would you be surprised at that?
and its modern ruler is Pluto. So we would look to those 2 ruling planets to see what might be influencing the energy of the new moon.
Indeed.
Now, for those of you who paid attention last week,
Blanket fort.
you will know that Mars is still in its lovely long tour of Cancer,
Yep.
conflict, mama bear kind of stuff. And that Pluto is in its last little bit of Capricorn. So they're opposing each other. So there's this argument going on there. So what I thought would be an interesting thing to do is kind of give an insight into how we figure out what that means,
What does it all mean?
right? So I wrote down, the first thing I would do is look at that information and write a word down for it.
This is how you
So,
do your readings. isn't
This is kind of how I do my tarot scopes, yeah. But
Yes.
all right. So Cancer, if we had to have a couple of words, we'd have home
it? Yeah, I can see that.
and nurture,
Yeah.
right? So these are all things that are going to go with this new moon. Home, nurture. Mars, war, endure. Scorpio, death, other people's money, and espionage.
Espionage. Cloak and dagger.
Pluto, destroy and recreate.
It's all got to come out, mate. Rip it down.
Capricorn, money. And 10th house, like how you project yourself or how you are seen by others.
No disrespect to the Capricorns watching us, but they tend to have an ulterior motive for their hidden agenda.
Right. But now let's think of this. Home could be the United States as well, right? So
Could be.
nurture, home, indoor war, espionage, and Pluto likes to reveal, right? Pluto likes to say, oh, you think it's a secret? No, this is public. All right? And Capricorn is related to that house of public, right? And then we have good old Uranus, chaos, in Taurus, which could give us loyalty, but is also issues with finance.
Yeah,
right?
it can be misplaced loyalty as well, can't it?
So you can see that there's this kind of stressful energy coming, which may have to do with the election, right? Because the new moon is Friday, you know? So I think, again, that advice in the beginning was be calm,
Yep.
send love.
Send love.
So it is not lost on me that he announced
not
his
speak his
candidacy
name.
in Waco, and then had his big rally last night in Madison Square Garden, and actually promoted a speaker who said that Puerto Rico was a floating garbage dump. So this is not somebody who wants to help people.
Certainly not a president for all Americans, I would suggest.
No. All right. So, you know, if you just think about the things that have been said from that camp, we can see that they are polar opposite of what's being said from the other camp. And just encourage people to try to do the right thing. So I finally sat down and said, let me just have some clarity in this space, and let me petition the cards, and let me ask, what are Kamala Harris's chances of winning this election?
And what did you get? Oh.
Looking forward to a bright future. And all of her charts, astrology, really does look like that is the case. Then I asked, what are his chances of winning the election? He's backed by a lot of money, but I don't think his chances are as good. And then I asked, so assuming that she wins, what's going to happen in our country?
Hey.
Now you could take this a bunch of different ways.
You can.
Chaos, panic, whatever. But I think this is the Pluto aspect of tearing things down and starting over.
This card has a deep meaning for me, and I think I got this meaning directly from Skip, when he said the falsehood will collapse under its own weight. That tower that is built, which is just a total vaporware fantasy of in this instance, hate and distrust and vitriol and polarization and nothing good of it, mass deportations, ripping children away from their families. This will collapse. So mote it be, from my lips to the goddess's ears.
Yes, for real. One of the speakers promoted at the Madison Square Garden campaign rally last night actually said, he got up, and at first you thought he was going to be speaking about the environment. And he said, there's this floating garbage dump
in the ocean. Which there is.
Called Puerto Rico.
Which it isn't. No, it's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, the size of France, to be honest. But
I don't want to dwell on the crazy.
No.
But I think that probably a lot of the people who are going to vote red are not listening or paying any attention to what he's actually saying.
They've got the Martian thing. They've got the mist of war in their eyes.
They don't even believe.
It's like,
they don't even believe that Project 2025 is real. And
so So there's a person who I do not know by name, but I could take you to their house. There's a flag outside their house that says Trump 2024 F your feelings. Yeah? That's a message for everybody, isn't it? That's a message for everybody. This is what we've brought out, or this is what this particular party, which has nothing to do with conservative republicanism, all right? I will sit down and have a reasoned conversation, political discourse, if you will, with a Republican. I respect them. I respect their ideas. I don't agree with them. I believe we have social responsibilities. But I completely respect somebody who feels like we should have minimal government and we shouldn't spend so much money and, we need more personal responsibility. All of these are completely legitimate political arguments, and I'll discuss them until the cows come home. Hate, vitriol, pointing at people and saying they're poisoning the blood of our nation.
All right, calm down.
Sorry. Woosah, I will not lose my head.
No.
I was very angry last night.
I know. I was very
when I
angry
saw that,
last
I was
night
very
too.
angry last night.
But I will say
not
that
give in to the anger.
2 different Latino performers that between them have over 50 million followers have both condemned that the Trump campaign.
The biggest issue we've got is extremely right-wing biased news organisations who refuse to tell the truth.
I'm done.
We're done now. So, anyway, moving on.
I've already given my advice. Stay steady.
Love.
Stay steady. Endure the war.
Sorry. I'm sorry. You should have seen me last night. It took her a little while just to woosah, because you have to understand that I'm a Leo, I'm a fire sign. I can be a worry bugger.
But look at, it's the list of people that have been offended, and it's just ridiculous. We're going to deport all the people who pick and pack our food, blah, blah, blah. We're done. All right. So our special announcement.
Yes, the good stuff. Let's move on to the good stuff.
All right. So on our Monday podcast, beginning November 18th, right? So the 4th, we're going to have our regular podcast where we do our astrology and pick cards. And the 11th, Veterans Day, we're going to do our regular podcast. But then we have a really cool treat for several weeks. So I don't know how many of you know that we are connected to a company in the UK called Phoenix Flames. And they are a publishing company for UK spiritual, pagan, esoteric authors. And they are who we get our Patricia Crowther books from, right? So we get Lid Off the Cauldron and Stagecraft to Witchcraft and the Glastonbury Zodiac from them. And I was talking to Angela, who is one of the founders, and we hatched a plan.
A cunning plan.
That we will host one of their authors every week on our Magickal Monday. So you'll see us and this featured author and talk about their book and allow you to ask questions. And then, of course, their books will be coming in. So I will tell you what I know so far.
This is a developing situation. Breaking news, good people, breaking news. But Phoenix Flames Publishing was founded by Ashley Mortimer and Angela Barker. Get her name right. I'm so sorry, Angela, if you're watching us.
And I can't remember Ashley's girlfriend who passed away, but she and Angela actually
She was the one who started it, and he picked up the torch after she sadly passed away, unexpectedly. But just a tiny little background. There was a firm called Capelban Publishing in the UK that was an esoteric publisher. They're really good. They got some fantastic titles. We used to carry them in the UK. And when we were doing the backwards and forwards thing, we'd often bring a load of books back with us. Unfortunately, the guy who ran that company died.
John died, yeah. So a lot of their books fell into obscurity, and authors didn't get royalties, and it was just a big mess. But they still held legal rights to these books, and it was just a big mess. But a lot of people have come forward now and gotten their books out of there and stuff. So.
Yeah, they started by publishing some of these people, and we carry quite a few of their books. We hope to have the entire line in stock. I mean, we probably will do, but certainly everybody we're going to feature, we will have their books either prior to their appearance on the show, and you can perhaps ask for an autograph copy, or at least we can do a book plate.
Well,
it
they'll
may
do
not
book
come
plates,
immediately,
yeah.
So the book.
I haven't arranged that yet, so you're announcing something that.
All right. Well, it's a developing thing. And tell us some of the people then. Tell us some of the people.
So the first guest we're going to have is Rachel Patterson.
Aha.
And she wrote a book called Hedge Witch. So you could go to Phoenix Flame's website if you wanted to look into it a little bit more. But the price that you'll see there is in pounds, and it of course does not involve shipping to the United States. So we promise we'll give you the best price we can, but there's shipping involved. All right, so November 18th, Rachel Patterson, Hedge Witch. Then on December 9th is confirmed for Marion Pierce, and she wrote Celtic Sacrifice, Pre-Christian Ritual and Religion. Celtic Sacrifice, Pre-Christian Ritual and Religion, and a second book called The Roman Calendar. Will there still be weekly astrology?
Yeah, we'll try and squeeze it in.
I have no idea.
We'll try and squeeze it. It's developing. We're working it out. We haven't got a clue what we're doing. But for those
I kind of have a clue what we're doing. I think we're going to be hosting these authors from Phoenix Flames.
Yes. What else we can fit in, we'll see. Marion Pierce, for those of you who don't know, was head of the Pagan Federation in the UK, if I recall correctly, wasn't she?
I have no idea.
She was responsible for, what was the magazine we used to carry? I'm trying to think of it. We advertised in it.
The Cauldron.
Was it? Was it called that? It wasn't called that. Oh, God. Somebody, if you know, tell us, because I can't remember.
They're probably still publishing it.
Well, probably. So, anyway, moving on. She's in a mood now.
I am, because he's going off on tangents and promising things that I have no idea about, giving you information that I cannot verify, and you go on your little merry way. And
she was chairman of the Pagan Federation.
I have no idea.
I do.
All right.
I remember her name.
I know there was a Marion Green.
Pierce.
Okay. Anyway, on December 16th, it's Philip Heselton. Yay! And he has a new book coming out called Wiccan Roots. And he's the one who wrote the New Forest Coven book, which we do have in stock. He wrote Doreen Valiente's witch biography. He wrote extensively about Gerald Gardner. We have some of those books in stock. But his new book is coming out called Wiccan Roots. So he'll be December 16th. Oh, I'm sorry, Jonathan Argentino on November 24th, who wrote Sigils for Magic, Techniques, and Transformations. And then the big deal, drum roll please, December 23rd will be
the holiday treat.
Janet Farr and Gavin Bone. Janet and Gavin. They have a new book called The Healing Craft. So Janet and Gavin on December 23rd, Philip Heselton on December 16th, Marion Pierce on December 9th, Jonathan Argentino November 24th, Rachel Patterson November 18th, and then Moira Hodgkinson hasn't confirmed a date yet, but it'll be one of those Mondays that we didn't announce. And she wrote 2 other books besides Operation Cone of Power that she wrote with Philip, which we do have in stock. She wrote Living Witchcraft, and then I think it's a children's book called Katie the Hunter and the Magic Star. Yeah, these are, we're really, I know it sounds so snooty, but we have taken an oath to be preservers of the craft.
It's very true.
And we really try very hard to stay in line and in contact and in being present with people who are trying to do the same thing. People who are writing not regurgitated crap, but people who have a Wiccan education, clarity in what they do, who are presenting legitimately researched, real information, not just, oh, I heard this on TikTok, so, go drink this poison kind of thing. And that's another reason why we're not doing TikTok anymore. I can't. We're the old school esoteric people who want people to have an education that's grounded in reality.
Substance?
Substance, not crazy. So yes, Janet and Gavin for our Yuletide treat, December 23rd. And we'll see what else develops, but this is what we have so far. So we'll be doing our Magickal Monday as author interviews. You'll be able to ask them questions, and it'll be really, really cool and interesting. We will be getting their books in. I have not had them agree to sign book plates, but we'll try to do that. I can't make any guarantees about that, although the book may come signed, but not specifically signed to you. Okay? But we're going to work this out. That's why I love you two. You're old school. Yes.
Apparently I am old.
We are old. All right.
Elegantly seasoned, shall we say. So yeah, if I've given erroneous information, I apologise, but I'm excited too. And it's a developing thing. Yeah?
It was the Pagan magazine now. You got me.
Oh, gosh. Come on. We had... wasn't Broadsheet. That was...
No, it was called Pagan something.
Too bad. If Angela was only watching us, she'd chime in and tell us at this point. She would know. But, we have this big time difference.
Pagan Dawn.
There you go. That's it.
Pagan Dawn, put out by the Pagan Federation.
Well done, you. And it was actually...
I think...
It was Marion Pierce.
Marion Pierce, okay.
Yep, she was for a time.
It's kind of along the lines of Green Egg when that used to be out over here in the 70s.
Absolutely. A quality magazine with substance.
Well, because Michael Howard, who was Doreen Valiente's high priest at one point, had done a magazine called The Cauldron.
Yes.
But we had the back cover of Pagan Dawn for a long time.
We did. But even so, we were still... The problem is with then, we might have been less of a well-kept secret in the UK, but Bishop's Castle was on the way to nowhere.
Anyway, it's all right. I'm going to light the candle. We're going to start the readings because... As you can imagine, our days are just packed.
And we have got so much to do today, but it's really good stuff, It's like we're insanely busy.
All right.
There's somebody rattling sabres behind us, aren't they?
All right, so we're going to go rather quickly now.
Right. I'm always in it, It's only the depth that varies. That's true.
Gilda.
I'm supposed to go first after all that. She berates me and I'm supposed to go first. Temperance. Ooh, what's that? See that word, temper? Yes, somebody doesn't have a bad temper or has a good temper. They are of good temper. So use the extremes that you've been through to knock the hard edges off, if you will, and be a little more measured, especially when somebody is endeavouring to push your buttons. There's a flavour. It's almost more of the same of last week. Do not feel Mama Bear the need to rip off somebody's head and poop down the hole. Okay? Just try to be balanced and measured in your response, and to an extent go with the flow, but also facilitate the flow. Was that quick enough for you?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I think we'll still do readings. I want you to have something for your membership. We'll still do readings, but I don't know that I'd have time to also do astrology. Right, so we'll probably have like 40 minutes with the author and 20 minutes for reading, something like that. We're working it out, but I wanted you guys to know that you have that to look forward to every week. Mm-hmm. Gilda, I would recommend meditating to Archangel Michael And try to understand that angels are not just Christian things. They were stolen, They were stolen just like everything else. And he is the protector, and I think could help you find some balance and peace of mind.
Aren't we going quickly today? We're being super professional tarot readers. Ha ha. As if.
I'm nervous about my card this week. Oh dear. Okay. Well,
What
we'll
you
get to you.
focus on comes into
To
focus.
All right. Sean. If I pull the Hermit, I'm going to laugh. Sean.
I love this card.
Okay.
No, I just.
Sean, this is the Minor Arcana Magician. So everything old is new again. Cycles ending, cycles beginning. I think you are in that place of transition and finding your footing, but I feel like you got this giant brain and it's going to be okay.
He has a massive brain. He has the most immense faculties. No, actually, it's the big hat that's making me chuckle. Because I know you, my friend, you're a ham bone.
Oh.
And there is the opportunity for some performance art here, haha, indicated in your immediate future, tell your friends. It is a juggle. And I think at this present moment in time, perhaps you're juggling finances, rob Peter, pay Paul. Rob Paul to pay Peter back for the money you robbed off him, kind of thing. You know what I mean? But it's okay. You're afloat. It's craziness, but you're going to be okay. Just keep that wonderful sense of optimism.
May you be booked today.
Yes, and be prosperous, my friend.
All
Right.
First for Savannah.
Oh, me? Oh, bloody hell. See, now. Again, I'm going to say there is a deeper meaning to this card that eludes you, and we're not getting ahead of ourselves in the tarot class, but if you look really bloody closely at the arrangement of the swords run through this person's back, they are arranged in exactly the same way as the Sephiroth on the Tree of Life. What? They are. Now, when you see it, you can't unsee it. But
So I think this is about the journey and the
there is
faith in yourself to take that journey.
There is a point also. There is a point where you have to say enough is enough, and if that person is continually, or persons, or and it's always awkward if it's a family member or something like that, is just bringing you down. You need to just cut the cord, and be done with it, because it's hard. It's hard to fix somebody who's willfully ignorant. Do you know what I mean? If they choose to be ignorant, and they ignorance and arrogance are unfortunate bedfellows, and I think that's what we're dealing with here. Don't yourself get dragged into that and wind up martyring yourself over something that is just not worth it.
Right. So yeah, I think this is.
I'm sorry.
This is about having the stamina to know when to lie low and know when to stand up and fight. Sometimes we're not laying down to get run over. Sometimes we're lying low to preserve our energy. So there might be some of that happening. But I do think, again, a big journey is starting. And maybe you need to put aside some time for focusing on that journey. All right. Logan says he doesn't know if we're taking questions or not today, but if you are, I am through the Am I through the struggles?
Or is there more to come? Who's that one for?
This is Logan.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, I think this is the last push that this next cycle between the Scorpio new moon and the Taurus full moon, so these next 2 weeks, may be very intense, but when you look at this character, she holds all the answers, right? So you have the answers. You just have to stop looking outside of you and trust what you know inside in order to deal with the issues. But as far as are there more problems, I think that everybody is going to be dealing with a massive amount of poo these next 2 weeks.
Yes, but you can make great fertilizer out of poo.
Absolutely.
And this is a great card of fecundity, you know. In the same way, on the Ace of Cups, we see those water lilies. You know, you don't get water lilies unless you got crap in the bottom of your pond, you know. So this is a very nurturing card. And I would ask you, because you asked the question, am I through the struggles? Where do your struggles lie? You know? And I would respectfully suggest that the biggest struggle is the struggle you're struggling with yourself. You know? No, it is. It's almost like a jihad inside of yourself. And that old Native American wisdom about the two wolves fighting, you know? And, you know, one is evil and antagonistic, and the other one wants to be love, and which one wins, you know? Well, the one you feed. So what are you nourishing inside of yourself? What are you nurturing inside of yourself? Maybe be a little easier on yourself, because I think your propensity to be hugely self-critical is actually kicking your own arse and doesn't help you. Okay, so think about what it is you're struggling and how you are processing that struggle, and realize that what you seek lies within yourself, not outside of yourself.
You're first for Laura.
Laura, okay, you've got an awful lot to cope with, but you're coping with it. Maybe you're playing a game of whack-a-mole, for sure, but you're towering above the problem. And also, I'm pointing this one out because we're doing the esoteric secrets. He's wearing a shoe and he's wearing a boot. The boot's on the back foot, the shoe's on the front foot. And this indicates, providing you can get on top of it, providing you can bang those things down, fight the problems, not somebody else, you know, just the problem, especially if it's your partner or whatever's involved, you know, don't wind up fighting each other. You will get an improvement in status. You will move from being the grunt that does the manual work into, you know, a promoted managerial position or whatever. Read into that what you like.
Laura, I see for this a prediction of working with your flexibility, allowing yourself to conform a little bit to the task at hand without compromising your integrity. So I think you may have to bend and move and show your flexibility in order to stay above the rat race there. But it is a great card for financial security, but you do have to work for it. So yeah, get up on your hill and whack the mole.
Mm-hmm.
Amber, you're after Peggy, and we're on Peggy right now. Peggy.
I love this card.
There's a song that plays on an album by a guy named Guru Ganesha, and it says, "Through the light of my soul, I am humble and whole." And it goes on again, and then it'll say, "Through the light of my soul, you know, I am healthy and whole." And it's just a really beautiful song. And when I first looked at the card, that came right to my mind, "Through the light of my soul." This is a Capricorn card, so maybe that Pluto energy is really affecting you on a greater level, even if you're not Capricorn. Maybe you have Capricorn rising or Capricorn moon. Just know that this week is going to be crazy for Cancerians, crazy for Capricorns, intense for Scorpios, intense for Taurus. So hang in there and do the best to connect to the light of your soul to be happy and whole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the energies that are affecting you, because if I'm not mistaken, I think you're a Leo. You're getting squared, and squaring. You know, it's like running into the corner of a table. It's a little bit owie. So yeah, again for you, see what's going on here. No, you know, it's so easy to, because the message of this card. And it's funny because we were talking about this in the tarot class, you know. Even today, when we pull out a card like, you know, death or the devil, people tend to scream and, you know, visibly recoil, you know. They don't, oh, you know. It doesn't mean what you think it means. But we've been conditioned to see this, this to be fearful. This is about fear. Could it be Satan
She's
and fear
Virgo.
and all that? She's a Virgo. All right, then. Well, what do I know?
Well, I don't know her whole chart, but I'm just saying that because this card is Capricorn, I
What
feel
do I
like
know?
this kind of intense energy is trying to challenge her. That's all.
I don't know. But yeah, this see, I'm seldom right. But what this is the lightning flash coming into, you know, the light of the soul coming into being, you know, brought down, Lux, the light, you know, Lux, Lucifer, zap, down the lightning, down the Kabbalah, into incarnation. That's where the fire is going into there. And this is a fantastic. The devil made me do it. Well, thank you. We'll take it. Don't be fearful, okay? Don't be fearful. Understand the mechanism, what's going on, and try to be joyful. Yeah. Life is a joyful experience. It really is.
Juniper's Tarot says she's Cancerian living with a Sagittarius and a 15-year-old Aries teenager. Oh, yeah. Good luck to you. All right.
Try to breathe.
You're
Try to
first
breathe.
for Amber. Amber, it's your turn. Amber, this is your card. Amber, we're doing you.
Right now. And our lights are flashing again.
That's because Helena Rose sent us $5. Amber.
Work, busy, chop, bang, bang. Why me? Why's everything got to be so chuffing heavy? Why can't I just, you know, why have I got this huge heavy load and this burden that I have to carry? Why can't things be easier? Hold on a chuffing minute, all right? Hold your horses. You're almost there. Put the damn wands down, okay? Maybe take your belt off, wrap it around the wands, pick them up, put them on your shoulder and get on with it, okay? There's an easier way to do it. Stop focusing on the difficulty and the struggle. You're almost there. You've got this. Just do it smarter.
Yeah, I feel like this is a message to try to organize a little bit better or schedule a little bit better or bring things together so they start to become a routine or patterns. And sometimes when we have Groundhog Day, right, when we know we're going to get up, it's going to be the same thing, this is how it's going to go, it may be boring, but it also might be easier to get through, right? If we have a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things that we have to carry, if we have some sort of schedule or timing or organization, where we don't have to go search for something because we know right where it is, or we don't have to wonder when something's going to happen because we have time put aside for that. Sometimes it makes it a little bit easier. So I think this is about taking on a big burden at first to get organized and scheduled, and then things will flow a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. So there you go.
All right. I'm first for Jess.
Oh, hi, Jess. I saw your post with you as the scarecrow. That was awesome. That's a great costume you got going on.
Really good news is coming for you. I know that you are Scorpio, and this is your new moon that's happening. So I think because you are prepared and because you have worked out how to get over, through, around, and under things, that some really, really good news is coming to kind of bolster you. And give you confirmation that you're on the right path.
Hell yeah, 100%. Also, this is one of the cards for me, as my own little thing tells me, old soul, but you know that. You know that. You don't need me to tell you that. Absolutely. I think it's okay. This doesn't mean stop doing what you're doing. You've still got to keep your momentum going. You've got to keep your charge on. You've got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. But you've got your shit together and it's coming together really well, and I expect to see some major league improvements here in things. So yeah, very, very positive card for you, Jess. You deserve it though. You've worked very hard.
You're first for Cass.
Cass, hello. Now Cass is a Leo, right? If I remember rightly. Okay. Yeah, things have been difficult. You've taken a bit of a beating. You've taken a battering, emotionally, physically.
Well, it's our growth, though, so it's good.
But here's the thing. Yn gwaedda pawb yn popus, yama o hyd, in spite of everyone and everything, we're still here, you know? You're stood up, you're still standing, you're on the outside of the defences, you've not retreated, you've not pulled yourself into, you know, a pit of despair. You're still there, and this is good. You're still equipped. So do maintain your vigilant guard. I think that's important. But know you're okay. Know you're okay.
Okay.
Pardon me. I'll try not to sneeze because it's very loud.
Boundaries, how to set them, and how to release them. Sometimes we set up boundaries as a protection for ourselves. Sometimes we set up boundaries because we are really, upset about something and we think this is the line, do not cross it. But what I've always liked about the character on this card is they're standing on the other side of the wall they've built, right? They're not hiding behind there saying, don't talk to me, don't come here, don't be near me. They're saying, look, I'm a little bit battle leery here. I've bought the t-shirt before. But if you want to come, I'll talk. But I have my stick, and I'm not afraid to use it. And you're not going to take what I've built up behind me. So I think this is very much a message of discernment, right? When to let your guard down and when to keep your guard up. And I think these next couple of weeks, again, for everybody are intense. But I think for you, it's about how much you give, how much you let in, and how you restrict. So think about boundaries and where they lie.
Discretion is indeed the better part of valor. As
All
the
right,
saying
I'm
goes.
first for Helena Rose.
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Ooh, the Scorpio card.
Hmm.
Wiping the slate clean and starting over. Taking that deep breath. Going inside. Reconnecting with things that you may have packed away. Reconnecting with things that you might have felt had died. And rekindling that, like the important things, love and consciousness and spiritual work, and things that may have been put aside for the sake of Muggle survival. So I think this is a reconnecting and a resurrecting.
Absolutely. This is so much in this card. We could talk about this, and will, in the tarot class, for quite a while. This has got a massive amount of esoteric symbolism on it. But suffice to say, this is arrival at a place from which you cannot go back. It's like you will learn something, you have gained an insight, and when you know it, you can't unknow it. You can't uninitiate the explosion, so to speak. You can't claim to be blissfully unaware anymore. But if you accept that, and we have to accept, just as we will one day draw our last breath, so for some it could be tomorrow, for some it could be 30 years from now, who the hell knows. But it's inevitable. Nobody gets out of this life alive. So recognize that you have to accept some things, especially if it's difficult, and I don't want to embrace that, but embrace it you must, because the other side of it, when you embrace it and you what's the word I'm going to say, assimilate that information, that knowledge, that new discovery, it is utterly transformative, and you can't go back to not knowing it. All right.
Savannah, you had 2 cards for today, and together you pulled the 10 of Swords and the Death card. Is that true? Is that what you're saying to me? I'll wait on that.
Okay.
All right. You're first for Kimberly.
It's a lot better than it was. Well, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Kimberly. Rest back the sword of control. You are not a passenger in your life. And I think the last few years you've almost felt like you've been buoyed along, you know. But I think kudos to you. I think you are recovering your self-serenity and taking charge of your life and the things you're doing, you know, what other people have told you to do. You're saying, is that truly right for me? Is that truly appropriate? You know, so this is good. This is a very, very positive card. Just because you have the sword of control doesn't mean you have to run anybody through with it either. But it does give you that authority, you know, that authority within your life.
Okie dokie. Aces usually signify a new beginning, and we're coming for this new moon. And if we look really closely, we can see that this card shows us that the crown can hover, right? So we can balance, we can use these little drops of enlightenment to hover, right? So I think that this card's going to help you to lighten up, to move along, and to keep things steady. All right? I think it's a great card to have for this new moon. Yes, I had 3 cards today. The first was the King of Wands. Then I asked about my focus, and I got the 10 of Swords. Then I asked what position for resolution, and got the Death card. Okay, I think this then, for you specifically, has to do with legal matters being solved and information that could give you new hope for a better, quicker resolution. All right. Juniper's Tarot. Am I first? I think I am.
I have no idea anymore. I've lost the plot.
All right. I think I am. Ooh. All right. Being in the right place at the right time. I think you're going to get a break. And I think it has to do with forward movement for your business. You know, sometimes it's not what we know, it's who we know, and word of mouth. So I think even though you've been trying to go through the regular channels of things, I feel like a break is coming for you, and somebody's going to give you the break that you deserve and hook you up with a good thing for your business.
Yeah, I think this is very much a card of... There's an old adage in the army, which is the moment you get your hands on, you've lost control. So sometimes you need to take a step backwards and attain a higher perspective, quite literally a higher perspective, you know, where you can see what's going on. You've got a more circumspect view of everything. You can take everything into account and determine the best course of action. So for you, I think there's a number of factors going on at this moment in time, like emotionally, spiritually, physically, all right? But this actually shows you getting above them, attaining that higher perspective, that higher ground, physically, mentally, spiritually, to be, you know, and the result of doing that is extraordinarily good, because we've got these 3 ships come sailing in. So this is very positive. I know Lisa tends to think of this can sometimes be an inheritance card.
But it doesn't have to necessarily be money.
Right, but it's also what have you inherited in terms of your ability to information processing skills, your management skills, your business skills, these are things that you've acquired. You've earned them, or you've inherited them, or whatever. But I think bringing this to the table right now, you know, lifting yourself above it, is going to come good for you. And you're saying,
she does criminal dark side astrology.
Everyone's cup of tea doing criminal astrology.
There's a niche for everybody, man.
Well, hell, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So before we pull card of the week,
yes,
I'm just going to say, go to Phoenix Flames website, Phenix Phoenix Flames. Go to their books. look at the authors and their books and get an idea of whether you think you're going to want that book or not, because I'm only ordering a limited number because of the amount of shipping.
It's going to be
But
a
if
fortune.
if I get 15 people that want the same book, I'll order a few more copies of that one. And I'm pretty sure that Janet and Gavin's book is going to be one of the most popular, but they don't come on till December, so we have a while. And that book's called The Healing Craft. So we have Philip Heselton's new book is Wiccan Roots. We have New Forest Coven in stock. He's December 16th. Moira, he wrote Operation Cone of Power with Moira Hodgkinson, and she wrote Living Witchcraft and a children's book called Katie the Hunter and the Magic Star. Rachel Patterson is first on November 18th with Hedgewitch. Jonathan Argentino, Sigils for Magic, Techniques and Transformation on the 24th of November. Marion Pierce on December 9th, Celtic Sacrifice, Pre-Christian Ritual and Religion, and the Roman Calendar. And then we have Janet and Gavin, and I'm sure more things to be announced, but check out Phoenix Flames and get a feel for those authors and books so that you can inform us as to what you want to put aside for yourself. All right.
Card of the week. Dun, dun,
Remember, love is the law.
Love conquers
all.
So mote it be.
All right.
Shit.
No, you know what I think this is about? I think this is about joining together as spiritual warriors.
Lead the charge.
Right? You can harness Mars energy for the good, right? You don't have to use Mars energy just to blow things up and obliterate them. You can use Mars energy to create a very sharp, focused conversation. Cut through the crap. Deliver.
If you find yourself in a fair fight, you've got your tactics wrong. There you go. This, but understand anger. You've lost the gig.
Right. If you're just in anger, like when you try to educate or dispute some of these raging red folks,
Anger.
they just yell, they swear, call you a communist, whatever else, but they're not willing to educate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Laser focused.
we have to take up the sword of good. We have to take up the sword of the spiritual warrior and put love and peace and calm into this crazy chaos.
And make a plan to vote.
Yes, vote.
Make a plan to vote. Don't boo. Vote.
Don't boo.
Don't boo. Don't boo. Do not boo. Vote. All right. Thank you, everybody. That was a stimulating, fun, and interesting.
We're off to the races now.
Oh God, yeah. So we may meet ourselves on the way back. We've got that much running around to do.
My goodness.
So we'll play catch up. Thank you so much for your wonderful energy and the very generous super chats today.
Yes,
we
thank
love
you.
that. That's wonderful and well done. You already voted. That's perfect. Well done, Logan. Well done.
Yes.
All right. We're gonna go forth, come fifth, and win a cup. Or something similar.
Something weird like
I
that.
don't know, something similar.
Excellent card of the week. Thank
Read
you. As always, you
everything.
guys are... Yep, go
Yep.
vote.
All right, go vote. Yeah, don't boo. Do not boo. Vote. All right, we're out of
Peace,
here.
love you.
Ooh, hey, not bad.
All right, lay it on me.
46 views.